Chakshura Unmilitam Ena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So, in continuation of reading the book The Living Name, Chapter 3, Blind to Transcendence. There was once a blind man whose friend told him one day, "You must drink milk because milk is the best preparation there is. I live on milk." The blind man had never tasted milk, so he asked, "What is milk?" His friend told him, "Milk is a white liquid." "What is white?" the blind man asked. "What is White is the color of a crane." "What is a crane?" The friend realized all his words meant nothing to the blind man who had never seen anything and therefore had no frame of reference. The blind man could only touch. The friend felt compassion and said, "I will show you what a crane is." He arched his hand and placed it on top of his other arm to indicate the bent neck of the crane and said, "The crane has a neck like this. Here, touch." The blind man was shocked and answered, "Oh no, I will never drink milk. It will get stuck in my throat." We are in a similar situation. We are blind to transcendence because the material senses can only realize material objects. Is there hope for us? All we can do with our material tongue is chant letters of the Hare Krishna mantra, Hare Krishna. But Krishna's holy name is something quite different from the letters of our alphabet. He is the non material personality of Godhead. This raises the question, what does a conditioned soul chant? Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, and Srila Prabhupada are of one mind in answer. An ordinary conditioned soul chants the Aksharanama, the external syllables, not yet the real name. But while trying to chant, if we turn to Krishna in a mood of seva, the Lord out of his mercy might reveal himself. Like a kind father, the Lord becomes pleased by our attempts and then appears. And if he is present, you will feel the difference. The point here is that we can never understand the Lord with our imperfect senses. We can do as many yoga exercises as we want. We can apply the very best concentration techniques, but we are still doves trying to touch the moon. Our senses just don't reach. Our only hope is to say that the moon will somehow come down to us. Seva Dharma. In the four active relationships with Krishna, service is the common underlying factor. Krishna's servants, friends, parents, and lovers all wish to serve him in their specific ways. The intention to serve is at the heartbeat of their every thought. Therefore, if we wish to realize our own specific relationship to Krishna, we must first enter that service mode. From there, our unique relationship can manifest. Everything starts with desire. When we sit down to chant the holy name in japa or kirtana, we must desire to serve. This is the original identity, swarupa of all jivas. At initiation, Vaishnavas receives a last name that really is the best name there is, Dasa or Dasi. It indicates that our dharma or essential occupation is to perform service. This essential quality lies dormant in us like the potency of fire within a match. At first, a match gives a flicker of fire, but given the right circumstances, it has a capacity to burn down a whole town. Not even 1,000 strong men can extinguish the full blaze, all started by a little match. In the same way, every living being has a dormant inner impulse to perform Krishna Seva. As soon as we begin to display this mode of service while we chant or perform other bhakti practices, our spiritual nature begins to gradually unfold and our specific rasa becomes revealed. At the moment, we are unfortunately wasting our seva potency in dealings of this world, family, society, partners, and the endless array of sense objects that promise satisfaction. Therefore, the flame of our natural relationship with Krishna is only slightly manifested. We want to serve, and yet our focus on Krishna is divided. This divided attention takes us in all directions, and we remain frustrated with our limited experience of happiness. This frustration can only be cured when we start to cultivate a deep desire to serve Krishna. Only if we take up our seva dharma, which we are made for, is the full manifestation of our true selves possible. For whatever reason, when we feel disinclined to take up service to Krishna, the interest can be rekindled by knowledge of him through lectures or scriptures, which naturally invoke his attractive nature. If this natural inclination is not given a chance to express itself, we will continue the petty, frustrating service to our mind and senses. The blazing inclination to serve. Should I stop here, Prabhuji?
Now continue this section, Mukta.
When the soul attains the advanced stage of mukti and enters into Brahman, the impersonal effulgence emanating from the Lord, the burning potency of seva dharma is extinguished. Not a flicker of light can be perceived as the jiva tries to merge into God. After all, if the servant becomes one with the served, there would be no service at all. Who would serve whom? The soul would become spiritually dead. It is for this reason impersonalists will never be empowered chanters. They would have to manifest a service attitude in their chanting, which requires, by definition, a personal understanding of God. The concept of an impersonal God extinguishes the soul's seva dharma, a match submerged in water. Only when the match is retrieved and dried, can the burning potency again be released. So I stop here for today's reading and just summarize. Um, in today's reading, there's a lot of philosophical thinking with beautiful examples, metaphors being stated by the author. The first and foremost is the how a God realized person who is taking the role of a friend and then a materialistic person who is not completely not at all aware of God playing the role of a blind man, and how the God realized person tries to explain the blind man the transcendental nature, and he takes a various ways step by step to make the blind man understand, and ultimately at the end the blind man still is not able to understand the transcendental nature. In the similar way, we are also in the same position of the blind man as of today, and we are as not aware of transcendental nature, so we cannot understand that there is an another world realm of spirituality existing, and this is understood only by one's experiences. And with this a kind of a materialistic senses and mind being onto the extend onto the material world, we are totally blind to the transcendental nature existence. So all we can do at this moment is first to chant the to take the shelter of the holy name Hare Krishna. And as this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is the first step, and when we start chanting, it gradually, um, although at the initial stage it is just a recitation of an alphabetical, one should bear in mind that this is not just an alphabetical ordinary name. It is the name of a non-material personality who is Godhead. So, what does the conditioned soul chant then? So, we should continue chanting the Akshara Nama, and as time progresses, and once we get an attachment to Akshara Nama, we start tending to have an service attitude towards the Lord. And this is the point and the turning point of a living entity. The moment the living entity gradually develops the seva attitude towards the Lord shows mercy and starts revealing gradually to the devotee. And thus the devotee starts getting captivated and continues to increase his seva attitude towards the Supreme Lord. So, having said that, so the seva is the main important thing which we can pull ourselves towards the Lord. So by bonding, by making the seva attitude and the relationship towards the strong relationship towards the Lord, one can progress in a devotion life. So the seva can be rendered to the Lord in any of kind of relationship. Basically, the four main relationships like servant, friend, parents, or lover, which is also we do in material world. And the main reason everything starts is the desire. So when we convert our desire to chant the holy name and strengthen the relationship to serve the Supreme Lord, then we will try to then we will be able to identify what is our real nature and what is the basis of our living, which is nothing but to serve Krishna. The serving attitude is already existing in all living entities, which is in dormant stage. So it only requires the right situation and right circumstances for it to completely manifest. So, and another metaphor has been compared here about a matchstick and how a little matchstick can lead into a huge fire, um, and which can burn everything. Similarly, the moment a living entity gets the right circumstances and and aggravates the dormant stage of his seva attitude towards the Lord, he will proceed in the right direction of reaching the goal of serving Krishna. So I